Ladies and gentlemen, from Concord, California, and now available on barbershopwindow.com comes the most pathetic, hideous, sloppy, eternally disgusting, continuously terrible, and fantastically laughable woman to appear on this or any other t-shirt ever. Treat yourself to all red everything. Get off my TV, Eva Marie.
JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script. Big Show and Ryback, Strowman and Roman. Get off my fucking TV and save me the misery. And all you fucking goons, grab a cold beer. The man of the hour is finally here. JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script. JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script.
What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. Is the number one fucking podcast in your subscription boxes right here on YouTube.com. This is Off the Script, episode 132, part number 2 for your Saturday morning. Thank you guys so much for joining me, as always, making sure this show is just on fire each and every fucking week, man. All thanks to you guys. Thank you for your continued love and support. We just hit 62,000 subscribers. I failed to mention that yesterday. SummerSlam weekend brought us closer just a little bit to 70,000, man. That's the next goal. That's the next number, and then we'll be on our way, man. 75, 80, 85, all the way up to 100,000. That's my goal before WrestleMania 33, man. But thank you guys so much for joining me. If you missed yesterday's episode, part 1, we talked about the original plans for Finn Balor and what he was going to be doing if he did not get injured at SummerSlam. What the original plans for Finn Balor were before they even gave him the WWE Universal Championship. We also discussed how now Roman Reigns has all of a sudden became the odds-on favorite to win the WWE Universal Championship on Monday night. And we discussed that WWE, after 3 fucking years, have not seemed to learn their lesson. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I gave you every reason that I possibly can, especially my own opinion, about why Roman Reigns should not win the WWE Universal Championship. You got ties with Rusev. You got to tie up those loose ends. You can't go back to what has been failing each and every fucking time and expect a different fucking result. It's not going to work, WWE. So please, either give it to Rollins or give it to Kevin Owens. But then there's the fucking, the looming Big Cass. Would WWE, would Vince McMahon pull a hot shot move and give the title to Big Cass on Monday night? I don't even know why the fuck he's in this match. I don't even know why the fuck he's in the match to begin with. I really don't understand why he's in the match to begin with. He's there because he's 7 foot tall and you can't teach that. Please. I wish you could fucking unteach me everything I've seen about Roman Reigns. Please. I don't want anything to do with Roman Reigns or Big Cass holding that fucking title. I don't.
Yeah, I don't
it's either Kevin Owens or Seth Rollins. We discuss all that in part 1.
Kevin Owens.
Make sure you guys
I'm
go
going
and
for
check
Kevin Owens
that
this
out
Sunday.
as always. All right. Whatever you're listening to here is going to be on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, Audio Boom, and Google Play Music later on this weekend. So make sure you guys go and check that out as well. Follow me on Twitter at JD from NY206.
Which I do.
Thank you so much. We are nearing 13,000 fucking followers on Twitter, man. 13,000 people following me. I feel so special, man. I feel so special. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you guys have not done so already. I don't know why you would not subscribe here. This is, like I always say, the #1 fucking podcast in your subscription boxes. Right here on YouTube.com. JD from NY206. And my buddies at Wrestle Crate, can't forget them. We got a Wrestle Crate coming up very, very soon, man. There's going to be an exclusive goodie in this month's box. So make sure you guys go check that out. WrestleCrate.com and on Twitter at WrestleCrates. And finally, if you guys want, Patreon.com/JD from NY206. If you guys want to pledge to the cause, if you guys want to pledge to the podcast and the channel, if you enjoy what you see, it is never an obligation. It is there if you guys want to do so. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. And the Eva Marie t-shirt is now available for sale. I better see sale after sale after sale on that motherfucker, man. I gave that one to you for you guys, man. Eva Marie, version 4, Get Off My TV, now available, barbershop window, link is down below. Let's make this the best-selling Get Off My TV of all time. And yes, version 5 is already brewing up here. And I'll give you one guess who that is. He was going to be on version 4 until they fucking disbanded the announce team. So now I just may put him on a shirt all by himself. Or we may see the first ever title on Get Off My TV. I don't know, man. I'm up in the air. I'm undecided. We'll figure out what's going on with that. But Eva Marie is available. Barbershop window. All you got to do is go down to the link below in the description. Go get yours today, $19.99. They ship everywhere. Or if you're on the website, just go to Barbershop window. You'll see wrestling shirts. Drop down. You'll see official partners. Another drop-down menu. And then you'll see off the script right then and there, man. We're an official partner of Barbershop window. Thank you guys for that, man. Now, let's get into the news today. Big story. Did Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton end the way WWE officials had planned? Did Brock Lesnar versus Randy Orton end the way Vince McMahon wanted? Over the last week, WWE has made a concerted effort to blur the lines in their storytelling in an attempt to drum up controversy and create some buzz. And yes, clowns, I will be going over The Miz and Daniel Bryan because every fucking comment, as if I'm not aware by now, 4 days later, oh JD, did you see The Miz, man? Of course I seen the fucking Miz. No, I didn't see it. Or I didn't hear about it. You fucking assholes. Of course I seen it. Yes, I will talk about it to calm everybody's nerves.
That was good.
The two most prominent examples of this came in the form of the SummerSlam finish between Randy Orton and Brock Lesnar and the verbal exchange between Daniel Bryan and The Miz on the latest episode of Talking Smack, the Blue Brand's post-game show hosted by Renee Young. While the shoot-style promo from The Miz could get Bryan involved in another specific storyline that will be resolved over the short term, we'll have to wait quite a while to see a resolution play out between Orton and Lesnar after the main event match at SummerSlam, even if they do decide to put a bow on it, meaning finish it off completely. We noted earlier in the week that the SummerSlam finish was scheduled to end with a bloody TKO decision, but the plans did not call for Orton to bleed as much as he did. Well, that could be attributed to Brock Lesnar with the fucking point of his elbows, I'm sure, coming at Orton's skull at full fucking force. Obviously, that's going to happen. You know, when Lesnar's in the zone, he's probably thinking, okay, I'm not at the Barclays Center, I'm not in Brooklyn, I'm not at SummerSlam, I'm in a fucking UFC octagon with cage surrounding me, and this guy's a fucking puny motherfucker, I'm just going to beat the shit out of him. That's all that Brock Lesnar was probably thinking of. He probably didn't even realize Brock Lesnar or Randy Orton was beneath him. So that's probably what happened, you know. But when you have the point of Brock Lesnar, who is 290 fucking pounds and 6'6", on top of you, wailing away at full force, what the fuck do you expect to happen? It happened, as long as Randy Orton is okay. The finish was designed to have people question what was scripted and what wasn't, and it certainly hooked Chris Jericho. Y2J was so frustrated with Lesnar's punishment of Orton that a scuffle ensued backstage after SummerSlam, requiring Vince McMahon and Triple H to intervene. Brock Lesnar went home the day after SummerSlam. Jericho did not address this incident on his podcast, and Orton appears headed for a quick transition to Bray Wyatt, potentially leaving the door open for retribution on Lesnar sometime down the line. I doubt WWE even has Randy Orton get any retribution. I think now this is going to be in the hands of Shane McMahon and Stephanie McMahon, and there's going to be a scuffle about what's going to happen there. I'll give you my thoughts on this. I got an idea. But there is much more to the SummerSlam finish than what was originally
his idea is to have
especially in regards to Orton. According to
and
DailyWrestlingNews.com, Orton did not know how the match was going to play out until he arrived to the arena the day of SummerSlam. As far as he was concerned, he was prepared for a typical main event match, but was informed by officials that it was going to be anything but.
Especially after
it didn't quite play out his way. But Orton was told that the match was supposed to resemble the 2014 SummerSlam main event,
possibly
Brock Lesnar and John Cena, where Brock Lesnar totally dismantled Cena in the most lopsided main event in WWE history. Despite some major back and forth between Vince McMahon and Triple H as to who would go over in the match, Orton was told that the match was supposed to make Lesnar look incredibly strong. However, it was also supposed to come across as a shoot where Lesnar appeared to go off the script, no pun intended, and just totally destroy Randy in a fight that looked nothing like it was predetermined. I don't know if the main event was supposed to make Brock Lesnar look incredibly strong. The way a lot of us see it now, and especially with him F5ing Shane McMahon and then Stephen McMahon fining him a lofty $500. Oh my God. $500 fined Brock Lesnar. Really? Brock Lesnar fucking cries $500 bills coming down his face. Give me a fucking break. If the man fucking cries at all. I don't think the man cried a fucking day in his entire life. Maybe with the whole scandal going on with UFC, but the fact is, Brock Lesnar, this was not supposed to make Brock Lesnar look incredibly strong. They did. They made Lesnar look strong, and I hoped they made him look strong, okay? I was hoping that because Lesnar needs to look strong. The stronger you make him, the more important and the more, I'd say, what's the word I'm looking for? The more impact it's going to have on the next guy to come in and beat Brock Lesnar. So if he's continuously being built up strong, when that next guy comes around and Brock Lesnar's actually pinned clean 1, 2, 3 and beaten legitimately, you know what that's going to do for the next guy? It's going to make him a legit fucking phenomenon. That's what needs to happen. I think this match and the ending was more for Randy Orton not losing. You know, Randy Orton, like any human being. I mean, this happened to everybody. It happened to John Cena. It happened to The Undertaker. It happened to Randy Orton. You step in the ring with Brock Lesnar, you know, you got some offense in there, but ultimately it's gonna end the way it did. Look what happened with Cena. Nobody on the face of the earth expected John Cena to go into SummerSlam and be suplexed into oblivion without getting any offense. And that's what needed to happen. And I commend WWE and John Cena for sitting down, you know, scripting that match the way it was. If you're going to beat The Undertaker, there's no way you're going to have Brock Lesnar come in here and struggle to fucking win the WWE Championship. This is The Undertaker at WrestleMania. This is his event. This is when he comes to fucking fight. You're going to have him go into SummerSlam and just beat John Cena by the skin of his fucking teeth? No. You needed Brock Lesnar to look important. You needed Brock Lesnar to look like a fucking absolute killing machine. That's what they did. No matter what happened with Lesnar in the UFC with the USADA drug violation, I'm hearing now Lesnar may actually serve a lesser punishment. He may not even be fucking suspended at all. He may not even be suspended at all after recent reports that were leaked a couple of days ago. But for the simple fact that Lesnar needed to look strong, I commend WWE for doing that. I also commend them for devising a way to make Randy Orton look okay here. Even though he got his ass kicked and bled all over the place, he went in there, and that's the exact way you treat Randy Orton. You don't have him lose. Randy Orton was not pinned. Randy Orton lost this match by TKO because of blood loss, because of something that Lesnar just snapped, Something so simple as Lesnar snapping, blood loss. He wasn't pinned, he wasn't F5'd, he wasn't fucking dismantled in fucking 14 German suplexes. He bled, and they stopped the match. They bled, or he bled, and they stopped the match. That's it. He wasn't pinned clean, and I'm glad WWE devised this plan, and I love the fact that they're blurring the lines from what is scripted and what is reality. And we'll talk about The Miz and Daniel Bryan as well. I got thoughts on that as well. But I don't mind the ending. I mind at SummerSlam that we got Reigns and Rusev, no contest. And then we go into the main event, and then you end the show with Lesnar TKOing Randy Orton, and then the show goes off the air like that. You know? Hopefully this builds to something more important and something big for Brock Lesnar, which I will talk about. Once Vince made the final decision to put Lesnar over to close out SummerSlam, a meeting took place backstage between Triple H and top WWE official Mark Carrano, Goon, and Lesnar. No official word on whether Paul Heyman and Orton were there, but it is presumed they were. This meeting happened an hour before their match, so actually during the pay-per-view, where the finish was greatly debated and negotiated. What's also interesting is that Orton was told Lesnar would be able to make him bleed by grazing his elbow across his forehead. But as we witnessed at SummerSlam, Lesnar legitimately pummeled Orton with an elbow that resulted in a huge gash at the top of his forehead, with blood immediately rushing out, and obviously that required staples to close. Apparently Brock Lesnar also hit Orton with a real stiff punch during the ground assault. If fans thought the referees and medical personnel looked confused, it's because they actually were. But the TKO decision went off as designed. Everything you've seen was scripted to happen. Lesnar did not fly off the handle. He did not fucking go into a berserk-type rage. Everything was devised by he, Heyman, Triple H, Randy Orton, and Vince McMahon. Despite the reality of the attack, Orton still stuck to the script as the match was ending. No one would blame Orton if he wanted to legitimately fight back, but he took the punishment and acted like he was really knocked out, as was booked, so the referees could make the call. It's apparently not the first time an opponent of Lesnar was unsure of what to expect going into a match with the Beast. Earlier this month, Dean Ambrose revealed on the Stone Cold podcast that he had no idea what was going to happen in his match at WrestleMania because Lesnar wasn't receptive to any pre-match brainstorming, and WWE officials rejected all of Ambrose's hardcore suggestions for the encounter. It'll be interesting to see if anything changes with Brock moving forward. This is the perfect way to book Brock Lesnar. This is the absolute perfect way to book Lesnar. Lesnar is not a WWE superstar. Lesnar is a fucking fighter, okay? You have to handle him differently compared to everybody else. This is brilliant. This is absolutely brilliant. Blurring the lines of what we usually see in WWE, but when Brock Lesnar comes in, you don't know what the fuck's going on when shit like this happens. I love it, bro. I absolutely love it. Kudos to Randy Orton. I'm glad he's okay. I'm glad he's okay because that was a brutal fucking beatdown. But kudos to him for actually going through with this. He played the part perfectly. He looked knocked out. Blood actually dripped from his forehead. Lesnar legitimately fucked him up. And it was great. It was great. I'm excited to see where this goes. I am honestly excited to see where this goes. Now, there was somewhat of a physical interaction at SummerSlam between Chris Jericho and Brock Lesnar. Dave Meltzer is reporting that the altercation stemmed from what happened with Lesnar's match with Randy Orton. Several sources are saying that Jericho went into the gorilla position around the time that the match ended so he could see if Orton was okay and to find out what happened. Jericho asked Michael Hayes if that was supposed to be the finish of the match. When Hayes refused to answer him, Jericho said, and I quote, "That's bullshit." Lesnar was coming back from the ring and heard what Jericho said and called Jericho a pussy. Another version of the story was that Lesnar told Jericho to shut up and mind his own business. That's when they got face to face and words were exchanged. And one person said that they were shouting and they were shouting at each other. Lesnar pushed Jericho with his fingers, and then Jericho came back at him with what was described as a Tausi Tate forehead press. Lesnar and Jericho then tangled up against the wall, and that's when Lesnar and Jericho pretty much continued their scuffle. Lesnar actually dared Jericho to punch him. Triple H broke things up, but they went at it again until Vince McMahon stepped in to break it all up once and for all. Jericho yelled some more things at Lesnar. McMahon told Jericho that it was all a work and that he needed to be a professional. Triple H, according to sources, told McMahon that Lesnar started it and that Jericho was just standing up for himself. Jericho then saw Orton and got mad because he saw how badly beaten he was, but Orton assured Jericho that he knew what was coming at the end of the match. Wow. So Jericho did not talk about this on the podcast, and I doubt we're ever going to hear about it. Maybe in his next book. I don't know what's going to happen with that. But as far as this entire Lesnar situation, I don't know if Randy Orton's going to play a part in this at all. Obviously, Shane McMahon is dropping hints that now this has escalated and that there will be further repercussions to Brock Lesnar. There are rumors going around that Shane McMahon, and I'm going to report this right now, that Shane McMahon versus Brock Lesnar is being planned for the Royal Rumble. I don't know if this is a good idea. Would I like to see it? Of course I would. Shane McMahon and Brock Lesnar, obviously that has ungodly amount of fucking chaos written all over it. At SummerSlam, Lesnar destroyed Orton. We know that, okay? Afterwards, Shane McMahon came out to protect his talent, and it ended up with him taking an F5 for his trouble. It seemed like the point of that was to book Lesnar as an out-of-control killing machine who would attack anyone. However, there may be something more to Lesnar's attack on Shane to end SummerSlam. Earlier this month, there was a rumor that Lesnar would be challenging for the WWE Universal Championship at the Royal Rumble. I reported that on Off the Script.
Yeah.
That remains to be seen. But WWE may have other plans for Lesnar by January. I don't think this attack is going to be granted with a title shot. So I think we can automatically throw that one out the window. Now, the plan is for Shane and Lesnar, according to Cage Side Seats, to have a match at the Royal Rumble. This will automatically lead to a feud between Lesnar and Shane McMahon. The plan is to have the match at the Royal Rumble. It's possible we could see a match between them at Survivor Series, but the matchup offers some more intriguing ideas for Shane as a character while he's running SmackDown. Shane continued their storyline by tweeting that Lesnar had crossed the line, and Stephanie McMahon confirmed that there would be repercussions, but without Lesnar or even Heyman, for that matter, present, fans were left to wonder for themselves what those repercussions might be. Decisions are constantly changing backstage in the WWE, and the booking of Brock Lesnar appears no different. For the last several weeks, reports circulated that the idea that upon his return in December 2016 or January 2017, Lesnar would immediately be inserted into the title picture and challenge for the WWE Universal Championship. That title match, presumably, would have taken place at the Royal Rumble. Now, however, a match between Lesnar and Shane McMahon would supersede the title match and go down at the Rumble instead. A subtle nod to Shane's in-ring abilities was made during SummerSlam when Jon Stewart commended him on his match with The Undertaker at WrestleMania as a reminder to the fans that he can still wrestle. I doubt that was a subtle nod for anything. Jon Stewart is unimportant and irrelevant. Who gives a fuck what he has to say? But yes, Shane McMahon can still wrestle. We don't need Jon Stewart to reiterate that to anybody. We know. Originally, Shane wasn't even supposed to remain in the WWE past April, but now here he is, commissioner of SmackDown, destined for a marquee showdown with Brock Lesnar at a major pay-per-view. Apparently, his commitment to the company and his father was strengthened since his return. One wrinkle that could alter the plans of a Lesnar-Shane program could come as a result of the events that took place behind the curtain following SummerSlam's main event. We've heard rumors, and we've heard numerous times how Vince McMahon loves to incorporate real-life hostility into his on-screen angles. And if that's truly the case, he's got a doozy on his hands thanks to Lesnar and Chris Jericho. Jericho was irate backstage, thinking that the Lesnar-Orton finish was a shoot, and confronted Brock when he came through the curtain. A heated exchange ensued, resulting in Lesnar calling Jericho a pussy and a bitch before things got a bit physical. Triple H eventually, and eventually Vince himself, had to separate the two, with McMahon assuring Jericho that it was all a work, which Orton then confirmed to Jericho when he arrived shortly after. Lesnar and Jericho have never been in a program together, and this situation would certainly add even more intrigue to a potential angle. We'll have to wait to see what happens if this changes anything, but the plan was for the Beast to battle Shane at the beginning of 2017. That might be an indication that Vince wants to keep Lesnar away from the championship picture or set him up to challenge for it on the grandest stage at WrestleMania. So, I don't know what's going on here. Obviously, there will be a lot of concern for Shane if he does battle Brock Lesnar. He's known to be a fearless competitor. He'll take chances. He don't give a shit. A match between them would be interesting to book, but it seems like WWE has options for Lesnar when he returns. what I think is going to happen, if it doesn't boil down to a Shane McMahon, Brock Lesnar match, you got two choices here. And I know which one I want, okay? I know which one I want, and I know which one would turn the blue brand into a fucking powerhouse. And I'm not talking about Brock Lesnar. I think we see Brock Lesnar come back around Survivor Series, November, December, and he continues where he left off. I would immediately have him go for Orton again. Before Orton even knows it. I won't even plan it. I won't even tell anybody. Orton's in a main event program. It could be a championship match on SmackDown, whatever the case may be. He comes out. Lesnar just fucking bum rushes the ring and takes out Orton again. Not the same fashion that we've seen, but literally put him through a table. Fucking F5, suplex after suplex. Official after official comes down. They can't stop this guy. Lesnar just fucking throwing officials around. Shane comes down. He's being thrown around. Daniel Bryan backs away because he's retired. He can't have anything happen to him. He backs away. Okay? Lesnar is an unstoppable killing machine. Paul Heyman can't even stop him. Vince McMahon has to come out. And fucking stop this. Chaos in the ring. SmackDown goes off the air. You don't know what the fuck's going to happen. If you want to book a match between Shane McMahon and Brock Lesnar, and you want Shane McMahon to stick up for the boys in the back, then do it. I would not mind seeing it. I would not mind seeing that at all. That would actually be a very, very interesting match, not only on paper, but to see play out on television. Okay? So after this chaotic SmackDown goes off the air, you don't know what the fuck's going to happen. Shane McMahon comes out next night and says, I'm sticking up for everybody. I have nobody on this roster that wants to do it. I got to do it myself. I am going to confront Brock Lesnar one-on-one. Shane eventually gets beaten down, and he's got the balls enough to talk to Heyman and say, you know what? Everybody before me has fucking suffered the same fate. Undertaker, Cena, Orton against Lesnar. Why not? Shane McMahon puts his name in the hat. I want Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. I want him. I want to take care of this. Paul Heyman starts laughing like, Shane, you and my father go way back. You and I go way back. I've known you since you were a small child. Whatever the case may be. They can fucking add how long Heyman has known the McMahons into the storyline, whatever. I do not want to see your life ended because you have more courage than you do brains. I understand this is your brand. I understand that you're sticking up for the boys in the back. I understand that you are coming to Randy Orton's defense. But not even me can handle this beast. I can't handle this beast. When he is ready to feast, that's all he cares about. You want to get in the ring, you are putting not only your life, but you're putting everybody's life and this brand in danger by getting in this ring. SmackDown might not have a commissioner at the end of this thing. So Shane doesn't care. Shane wants Lesnar, book it for the Royal Rumble. Shane gets destroyed. At the Royal Rumble, okay? So, obviously, if Shane can fall off a 25-foot cell and land through a table at WrestleMania, a few suplexes here and there, and, a Brock Lesnar beating at the Royal Rumble, yeah, he can come out in a wheelchair, on crutches, whatever the case may be. He'll show up on SmackDown. And as we get into the WrestleMania build, Shane McMahon's like, you know what? Fuck it. I found somebody that's going to take out your guy. I found someone who is going to destroy Brock Lesnar. And no, I'm not talking about Goldberg. I'm not talking about Goldberg at all. I'm talking about Kurt Angle. I think this would be the ultimate fucking blow-off for this angle if you have Kurt Angle come in and confront Brock Lesnar one-on-one that will culminate in a match at WrestleMania. I don't want to see the Goldberg thing. I really don't. I think the Goldberg thing should be, sticking to video games and stick that to 2K. I don't want to see Goldberg come out. If Goldberg was going to confront Brock Lesnar, it would have happened. I don't know what's going on. It could be Goldberg. You could put Goldberg in this, and it would still get across what I'm trying to tell you, but I think Kurt Angle would make it more impactful. I think Kurt Angle and SmackDown and the Blue Brand are pretty much synonymous with one another. I think they would go better than Goldberg. I think this would be a match that we all want to see. I think Goldberg versus Lesnar it's exciting. It's interesting. Goldberg wants one more match. And it's, a match like that against Brock Lesnar, who's coming out of this storyline, it's going to be nothing more than a nostalgia match. Kurt Angle, if he's back in the WWE for good, whether it's a part-time basis or a commissioner or a GM or something of an on-air, official role. He's not going to be wrestling every fucking week. So if Lesnar and Angle happen, I think more people would be excited to see that because we know what Kurt Angle could still do. We know the match that Kurt Angle could bring out of Brock Lesnar. And the fact that these two have a legitimate history with each other, I think it would play into the fact that, you know what? These two brought SmackDown to relevance back in the day, and they made some fucking exciting times for SmackDown back in the day, and they're going to do it again in 2017. I like that. I like the Kurt Angle thing better than I do the Bill Goldberg thing, and that's just me. That's just me. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. But I think if they want to do something like this, it all leads to a match with Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle at WrestleMania. And of course you would have Brock Lesnar win. And you would continue that string of dominance. He's not going anywhere. Brock Lesnar is not going anywhere. So you would have him legitimately come out, beat Angle, and then he would challenge for the Universal Championship. That's all. You know? Lesnar continuously has to be built up because either Samoa Joe or Shinsuke Nakamura are the guys to take down Lesnar. That's just the way it's got to be. There's nobody else on the roster that's going to legitimately take down Brock Lesnar. You continuously build this guy up, and you have him steamroll everybody. I'm not saying that Angle can't beat Lesnar. I'm not saying that Angle has to be destroyed like everybody else. Angle could be that guy to, pull him or bring him to the brink of defeat. Ultimately, he will fall. Ultimately, he will fall, and Lesnar and Heyman will win this feud, and then they disappear. Have him come back, challenge for the Universal title, whoever the champion is, and then obviously his last year of his contract, whether he re-signs or not, I don't know. But I think Nakamura and Joe, in the end of this all, if Lesnar wants to go back to UFC full-time, I think Joe or Nakamura are the ones to do it. I would not give it to anybody on the roster right now, not even a returning Goldberg or a Kurt Angle. It would ruin everything. You got to give it to someone who's going to be around. Angle's not going to be around. Goldberg is not going to be around. Joe is going to be around. Nakamura is going to be around. Simple as that. Let me know what you guys think about all of that. Obviously, this is very interesting stuff coming out of the Lesnar-Shane McMahon WWE storyline following SummerSlam. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's definitely intriguing. Rumor, NXT TakeOver coming to Sydney, Australia in December. NXT TakeOver is the most consistent WWE Network special. The brilliance of a TakeOver special is that there is only a few per year and one roughly every 2 months. That allows the NXT product to breathe and not be forced to have a pay-per-view quality match every month, which allows NXT talents to build their momentum for the big moments and payoffs at the next TakeOver special. Thus far, we've seen NXT TakeOver specials in Orlando, Dallas, London, Brooklyn twice, a new city getting TakeOver special, and a cool thing. But a new country may be coming at the end of 2016. According to a report from WrestleZone.com, WWE has officially confirmed the dates for NXT's first live tour, of Australia and New Zealand. The brand will be touring from December 5th through the 15th. NXT usually makes an announcement for the next TakeOver special at the last one, but nothing was announced as of this weekend. The expectation is NXT will have the next TakeOver in October at Full Sail, but the tour of Australia will culminate in NXT TakeOver Sydney to end 2016. My only concern is the time difference between here and obviously us here in the United States. But having Sydney, who has never seen a TakeOver special, and hearing those fucking rabid fans for the first time, that could be memorable, man. I really hope that happens. It would be nice to see WWE bring a TakeOver special to all these different cities, man. Sydney being one of them. I think that's exciting. Hopefully they go through with it. But after seeing the tour schedule, I'm pretty much, I'm not in the know, but I kind of see where they're going with this. You can kind of tell that they're going for a TakeOver special during this entire tour. It happened with London, and I think it's going to happen with Sydney, Australia. Very exciting stuff from NXT. Moving on here, we have the first names for Raw's Cruiserweight division confirmed. And yes, I did not do a Cruiserweight Classic review this week on YouTube. It was a very uneventful week for me anyway. I'll be back with the semifinals. That's really where things are going to start being broke down. And NXT was nothing but a review show of TakeOver Brooklyn, so we'll hit it hard again next Wednesday. But the Cruiserweight division is going to be something that makes Raw exciting every single week because the success of WWE's Cruiserweight Classic has proven that there is a market for the division. Raw has 3 hours to fill every week, so a division like this will make things a lot easier for the powers that be going forward and provide one of WWE's biggest platforms for several new wrestlers coming into the company. It was revealed during Monday Night Raw that the division will begin on September 19th. It was also revealed during NXT TakeOver Brooklyn that the winner of the CWC will be winning a trophy, which looks absolutely gorgeous. It's going to be difficult to have a Cruiserweight division without a title for everyone to chase, but that just may come within the time. WWE officials need to be concerned with putting together a roster for the division. According to a report from Cage Side Seats, Brian Kendrick, TJ Perkins, who is one of my favorites in the tournament right now, Noam Dar, Rich Swann, and Cedric Alexander are confirmed for the division. More names are also expected to be announced before September. It's also very likely that there will be other talents coming in and out of the division for the foreseeable future, and there will be a continuous influx of new talent, which will make the division very interesting every single week. Am I excited for this? Absolutely. Do I think this will lend a helping hand to Monday Night Raw? Absolutely. Will it make the 3 hours go by a little bit more fluidly? Yes. I can't wait to see Cedric Alexander, Rich Swann, two of my favorites in the tournament right now. Noam Dar, I want to see more of him. Everybody seems to be on board with Noam Dar. TJ Perkins is fucking unbelievable. Brian Kendrick back in the company. I think this is going to be fucking awesome, man. You know, the Cruiserweights could have really helped out SmackDown, too. You could have moved all the women to Monday Night Raw, and you could have moved the Cruiserweights to SmackDown. I don't know, but WWE obviously wanted these guys on the biggest show, on the A show. Monday Night Raw is the flagship show, so I understand why they did it, and I can't wait to see it unfold, man. I want to see a champion crowned. I want to see what happens. I love the Cruiserweights coming back, man. It brings back a time of old, a nice nostalgic time when the Cruiserweights really dominated WCW Nitro. I think WWE, with this new influx of Cruiserweights and, these guys who are not of the same mold of those types of Cruiserweights, I think this is going to be fucking unbelievable for WWE. And they need to handle this with extreme care, and they need to respect what happens in this Cruiserweight Classic going on into Monday Night Raw. I'm excited for this, man. I can't fucking wait. September 19th, Cruiserweights will be on Monday Night Raw. And finally, guys, we're going to end this week's part 2 of Off the Script with this one. The reason Sasha Banks dropped the Women's Championship at SummerSlam. Earlier this week, quite an uproar was caused on social media when Charlotte defeated Sasha Banks to become the new WWE Women's Champion at SummerSlam. Many people felt that this was a planned change in the middle of the match due to the fact that it appeared that Charlotte had injured Banks during a sequence of moves. According to a report from PW Insider, this is not the case, and the title change was the original plan going into the event. Banks has had some nagging injuries for a while now and has been given some time off to heal. Banks' injuries did not come from Charlotte during the match. WrestlingInc.com reported that after the match, the Boss had been pulled from all upcoming WWE live events and was not scheduled to return until September 23rd in Illinois. In fact, according to a report from Daily Wrestling News as well, Sasha Banks isn't expected to be out of the ring for very long at all, and the rumors have sold things to be worse than they actually are for her. Banks will not need surgery to repair her injured neck or back, I should say. Nothing wrong with her neck, her injured back. So it's very likely that she'll be back on WWE television in September. In the meantime, Charlotte is going to be kept busy with Bayley. When the Boss returns fully, as guaranteed, she'll be having another match for the Women's Championship. She'll be getting a rematch. It's possible that a triple threat scenario could be upon WWE's Raw division next month or sometime this fall. They called up Bayley. Obviously, this is not only a time killer for Charlotte, because obviously Sasha is going to get her rematch, but we have Bayley, so we can't really complain that much. I'd rather Bayley and Charlotte go at it. Sasha gets healed up. She comes back 100%. And you know for a fact we're going to be treated to women's matches out the ass with all three. This is going to be fucking amazing. It's going to be the days of Trish and Lita all over again. We're going to get matches with Bayley and Sasha. Bayley and Charlotte. Sasha and Charlotte. Charlotte and Bayley. It's going to be a fucking triangle of matches throughout Monday Night Raw. And then you add Nia Jax in there, and you add some of the other women who can do a few things on Monday Night Raw in there. and you got yourself a viable fucking division. I like it. Sasha Banks dropped the title. It was the original plan. And the only reason why they gave her the title to begin with was because they wanted to pop big. They wanted something monumental to happen
Hey guys,
on that first edition of Monday Night Raw.
my recorder
Did
is gonna
they keep
run
up
out.
with
My
how that
phone's
show
gonna
was
run
paced?
out
Of
of
course not.
time.
The shows have gotten
But
progressively
okay,
worse.
like I said,
Monday Night Raw this week was not bad because it was coming off
If you like what
SummerSlam.
you see,
And obviously you had a
please
lot of
leave a comment
noteworthy
below and also
moments
like
on
the
that
video
show. And we
and
built
subscribe
towards
to-
crowning a
and
new
subscribe
Universal
to the channel
Champion.
and check
But
out
will
the
they
other
continue
videos.
to build off that in the weeks to follow? That is the most important thing.
Alright?
I don't know.
So check out the
So
other
Sasha
videos
dropping
and
the
like
title,
this video
it was
and
all
subscribe
planned
to
all
the
along.
channel.
The only reason why she was given the title, not because the WWE disrespects her and sees her as a transitional champion. They wanted a big pop